others wanted to.
Mr. Mackey, are you confident now that all information being entered onto this database is actually within the new criteria? Are you confident about that? We're holding you
yes,
on
I know
a
you are.
promise
Yes.
here.
I'm as confident as I can be from the audits done. Absolutely, because there's always, you know, I'm only being practical. There is always a caveat in terms of auditing data. But like all of our systems now, I'm confident that it follows the management of police information, i.e. stuff comes on, if it's not appropriate to be kept, it's not for policing purposes, it's weeded and it's gone. And as you all know, this is a national function for which the Met is the lead force.
Thank you. Is my file on that database?
I don't know.
Right. Because I...
Taking up much room.
I
You shared.
I paid £10 to get my file.
Yes.
And quite honestly, I want my money back.
Yes.
And I've shown it to you, Mr. Mackey. I'm sorry, Mr. Greenhalgh, I haven't shown it to you, but
I'd love to see it.
it is... Sorry?
Not worth seeing. It's not worth seeing.
I would say pathetic. And there are a few things that arise from this. First of all, how much did it cost to compile things like copying tweets I've made? How much did it cost to compile this, my file?
I don't know.
How many hours were spent compiling it when the police could have actually been doing some police work instead of reporting that I've been at something in Trafalgar Square? But, I was actually speechless. Well, not speechless. No, I'm not speechless. But I was astonished to get my file. It is the most pathetic collection of tweets and little notices. And I just wonder how many other people's files are just the same.
The press officer could have provided something more comprehensive.
Yeah, I could have provided more information than this.
Cheaper.
I don't know whether you're rightly indignant. You're expecting something much bigger or nothing at all.
Might be something.
Yeah.
I mean, consequential. I mean, why include a tweet I've made? This is something public. It's not as if I'm trying to hide it. And when I report on the fact that I'm now the Green mayoral candidate, what's that?
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm going too far about it. But
You've asked me separately, and I am doing some work to look at your subject access request.
I want to know the person who actually authorised the collection of so much trivia on an elected politician who actually probably does much more dangerous things than speak at rallies in Trafalgar Square. I also wanted to ask...
your parking tickets aren't on here.
What?
Your parking tickets aren't on
I
here.
don't get parking tickets. You don't get them for bikes. There's also a Green councillor down in Kent who was spied on for 2 years for completely legal activities. And his file... Well... They manage the database. That's the point, and they authorise it. And his file even included details of him organising a public meeting in support of gay marriage, which is a policy supported by the Prime Minister and the Mayor of London.
I
They're the subversives.
I honestly...
Really? Really? And somebody else, an 88-year-old pensioner from Brighton who campaigns for peace and human rights, found his file included descriptions of his appearance, such as clean-shaven, and his habit of sketching demos.
Right, you're quoting some... I don't know those particular cases, so I'm at a loss to be able to answer that one.
What is the Mayor doing about this? I mean, has the Mayor taken any interest at all in this?
Has he asked for his file? Yes. Is it £10 to get your file?
Well, I want my money back. And honestly, I am, and the time it took me to fill in the form. The form is ridiculous in its complexity to get your file back. I've actually sent the link to all the members of the committee so that they can get their files and see the quality of intelligence.
The form's a national form. It's done. I know it's a complex form. It's got a lot on it. No, but there's an important point, because you don't want your file released to someone who's not you. I mean, I know you've been quite happy to share yours, but some people don't want to share.
Mr. Greenhalgh, are you happy? Have you asked more questions about this? The fact that some of the intelligence that's being gathered on all sorts of innocent people who don't break the law is in fact so trivial and such a waste of police time.
Yeah. Now, you're raising this issue of these people very often are not convicted of an offence and they're appearing on a database. And as you know, as an experienced former member of the MPA, all of this data is operating not in a vacuum. There is a policy, there's legislation, the MOPI, or Management of Police Information legislation, and it needs to comply with that. Yeah. No, we don't have that in the work programme, and it's useful to have these committees to raise issues, but you know, you've raised the point. We'll look at this, because clearly I would have thought from a policing standpoint the reason that they have intelligence databases is that it provides intelligence and that it's useful and that it leads to something. I'm sure your tweets are really exciting. I know they're very personally supportive of me at all times, but you know, no. I mean, clearly there's a legislative framework. We need to consider this, and we need to recognise that when you have an intelligence database, it's there for intelligence about people who may operate outside the democratic process. So that's the whole idea of domestic extremism. It's people who operate outside the normal democratic
I mean, my concern is that this is incredibly intrusive in people's lives on a level that is not of any value.
Yeah.
And you could be subject now to court cases over stuff you've gathered on people, which is again public money being spent on nonsense.
Clearly, the intention is to identify those people that are capable, not just of being people that may being difficult, but people who are planning disorder and criminal acts, and therefore that's why you have the database. It's not there to pick on innocent people. That's the purpose of the database.
Okay.
You fall into that category.